Stephen, any changes? Okay, all those in favor? Any opposed? 7-0. And then next we need a motion to approve the consent agenda. Andrew? Jason? I'll give you that one. Any questions, comments, changes? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 7-0. Communications.
We have none at this time.
Okay. Next on the agenda is student recognition for the middle school, but they are in transit, so we're gonna move to the superintendent's report and we'll come back as soon as they're here.
So the first one is just it says CSIP update and review, and that's just goals that are going to be identified, either that I talk about in the superintendent's report or that the principals talk about in their updates. It's so with the CSIP, they're going through the next phase of that, and one of the things they're going to want to see is, okay, we've now developed a CSIP. What are you doing to address it continuously, and how are you changing it? How are you updating and improving? So that's why that's referenced there. And we'll continue, and I'll update that month to month. Coffee Connections, we've talked a little bit about this, and I'll share a little bit more about that. But you all are welcome to attend. The first one will be September 25th at 8 a.m. at William Lynch in their conference room, and we'll just do that for an hour, and we'll talk about. Really, it's more of a listening session to find out what concerns the community has or what questions they may have about a litany of things, and we'll try and document those and really try and address a lot of those concerns or questions, or we also want to hear about good things we're doing that we could expand upon. So that's just an opportunity for the community to hear those things. It's also part of our CSIP, so just trying to reach out and do some of those things in the community.
25th, you said?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Will you be sending an email?
Sure.
Prior to?
Yep.
Because I'll forget.
And you did indicate that we would do some in the evenings to kind
Yes.
of accommodate schedules. Okay, just want to make sure
Yep, we'll do some in the mornings, but then we will do some for those folks that can't make it in the mornings. And then also, and I'll make this clear, if anybody, and I'll tell those folks, if you can make it, great, but I'm available at any point. If somebody wants to email and set up an appointment, we can also do that if they don't feel comfortable in a public forum. So that's something we're working on. We had the listening session with the staff on Monday on the PD day. Drew was able to attend. It was well attended by the staff. Mr. Copeland, how many would you say were here?
We had 18 sign up to come.
Okay, we had about 18. It was actually a very constructive dialogue, and it went into items that I was surprised about that were their main concerns. And so that kind of facilitated some other conversations. So it was really good. We will continue to do those on certain PD days, and I've got some things I've got to follow up on those notes. But I think overall the staff was pleased with it. I think, and I think they're going to see some positive things come out of that. So we'll continue to have that dialogue. Just a update on the FEMA storm shelter. The footings will be done next week. They delivered all the underground utility material. Digging will begin on Monday. It'll take about a week to do that. The footing will be poured as the footing is dug and rebar is tied. The big thing about the FEMA building, which is good news, is that the precast walls are ahead of schedule by about a month, which is really surprising. And so that means once we have those and those start to go up, we're ahead a month. We'll see if that holds, depending on weather and a factor of things. But Billy told me they were hoping to be under roof by Christmas or January 1st, and this puts us maybe at sometime in November. So we'll see if it continues, but they've been great, very good communication with those folks. New Tiger Training Survey, Mr. Cope. New Tiger Training is obviously our new teacher orientation, new staff. So we did a survey to find out where we can improve, things that they'd like to see continue or change. Do you want to share some of those things?
Sure. They talked a lot about what the two teachers did for the classroom strategies. They liked that quite a bit. And technology, they asked for more technology ideas. We modeled some Acadian strategies, and they appreciated those. Gave us some ideas on like tightening things up in the schedule. They like getting to meet with their principals and mentoring time and things like that. So there were a lot of good things in there and some ideas on how to tighten it up for next year. So.
I put in here district leadership team. That's one that we're going to put together based on the listening session that we did at the PD day. So what we really want to do is get some representatives from each building where we can have regular conversations, and that there's a point of contact for teachers to go in each building where they can ask and go, hey, what's going on here? And they may have someone that can give the answer, or it'll come to us for a discussion. So we'll put that together by the end of the month, and we'll start having fairly regular meetings with them. Dr. Green, do you guys want to go, or do you want me to keep going?
That's up to you. We can go now, or we can wait till you're finished with your report.
No, you guys go ahead.
All right. Well, so one of the cool things that has happened at Salem Middle School that you all have heard about is the production of Elf Jr., and that will be in December. But we have been hard at work casting for that, and Mrs. Phelps and Mrs. Welch at the middle school and the upper elementary, they have done a fantastic job just corralling kids and managing the auditions that were in early September. And now they're working on their scripts, and they're rocking and rolling with that. And so I really wanted to just kind of highlight our lead performer in Elf Jr. This is Mr. Weston Stites. And Weston, you're going to be playing the role of Buddy the Elf. Buddy the Elf. So he is our very own local Will Ferrell. Fantastic. And the cool thing about Weston is his positive attitude, his energy, the leadership that he brings at the middle school. Just an all-around great kiddo. And the day that the casting list went out in the 7th grade hallway, there was a lot of just kids talking and couldn't wait until 3:21. And it was really cool to be out there at bus dismissal because I got to see all the kids gather around and look, and just the pure joy and emotion that Weston had, and how excited he was to call his mother. He was so excited to call his mom because all of his hard work had paid off. So we just want to recognize and congratulate Weston on a great job securing his goal, and we can't wait to watch you perform in December. Can't wait. Thanks for being here, Weston. You guys are welcome to
Is there a photo opportunity?
I would love a photo opportunity. Anybody got a camera?
I think Mom's got
Okay. All right. Stand.
Yeah.
Or behind us.
Yes.
Yes. You ready in the middle? Okay. We'll have the,
I don't know if everybody is.
under that. Yeah. I think we're going to.
Okay, well, I can go.
Yeah.
We just loaded 50 mums into my phone. We went crazy on the mums.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to tell us where to live.
Okay.
Do it.
Got it.
Right here, please. Thank you. Thank you.
And another. And are we good?
I have to send it to Dad.
Whoops.
We should have made you wear like an elf hat thing.
The shirt was perfect.
We live 5 houses down from the school. And
We're gonna have the best health.
Mrs. Phelps was going to stop by too, but they were wrapping up rehearsal at 5:30. So thank you to Mrs. Phelps as well.
Thank you guys for being here.
Congratulations.
By the way,
I'm so proud. Your son.
That's audition. Shows 19th through the 21st.
Somebody's not shy. We do a lot of singing in the car. I love when Mary Jill was one. Have a good night.
See you guys. Thank you.
We've had a very increased interest in theater, and I 100% Mrs. Phelps, the amazing stuff she does with that elementary program, and those kids just aren't ready to let that go, and maybe who knows what that develops into as we get into high school, but it's been wonderful. So
Very excited for that.
okay, moving back real quick, that district leadership team, I talked a little bit about that, but we're also going to do a student advisory committee, and so I've had the principals appoint students, a male and female, from each grade 7 through 12. And we had very specific instructions about who we wanted on that. So we specifically wanted students who have been R80 students from elementary school. We wanted students who were rural school students who are now coming into the district or had been in the district for a couple of years. So we want those different perspectives. We wanted kids who were involved in the arts, the music, theater. We wanted athletes. We even wanted kids that maybe even have a little bit of a discipline issue, because we want to see a wide range of their thoughts and ideas about what we can do better and what we're doing good now. So that will be coming up soon. We'll do that quarterly and meet with them. Drink contract, just a little update for you all on that. So we have fulfilled our obligation to Coke in regards to the number of years that we were supposed to do. It's from 2012 to 2022. However, there is a stipulation in the contract that we have to purchase 16,000 cases, approximately 16,000 cases, and we still have, COVID has set us back a little bit. We still have to purchase 6,000 cases, which is a fairly significant amount. So I'll be reaching back out to Coke to see what we can do to increase sales. And one of those things that we're going to do is we're going to add some coolers down at the football field. We're going to add some coolers in the gymnasium when we expand the concession area there for basketball and volleyball games. So that's just a few things. We're going to try to change some choices in for the students. That volume really helps us not only to fulfill our contract, but we do get 25% of the sales from the vending machines and from the concession stand. So that's a win-win for everybody. The greenhouse is completely done, so we've got that all taken care of. That was one of the insurance claims. So the greenhouse is back up and running. The roofing project is on schedule. If you saw, they dropped off some things out here, so they're going to start doing some shingle roofs out here. They'll do the shingle roof on the tech building. We are 90% done with the full tear out and replacement. We still have quite a bit of way to go with the coating, but he sent me an email late today that said he's anticipating by October 7th having the whole thing done. So they've been great to work with. I know they've been at William Lynch a lot the last week. Prior to that, they've been at the high school. And so I'm very hopeful that we fix some leaks that were already happening that we didn't know where the location was. So overall, it's been good. We've actually made our first payment, actually our first two payments to them, and we've already been reimbursed by the insurance company for the first one, which was a fairly significant amount. I want to say a little over $300,000. So I was really nervous when we got that check. But the insurance company got us back to it pretty quick, so that was nice. One thing I did want, and something just for you all to think about and discuss. I was approached by Dalton and Heather, the ag teachers, about the possibility of putting in an animal science lab on that area of grass that is behind the ag building and the shop. I know in years past we've had occasional middle school practices there. I think for the most part we've moved those to the baseball field. But that's just something they were talking about, fundraising for that. There may be a grant opportunity there. So really before they went any further, they wanted you all to mull that over and we could discuss at another board meeting. But that was something that they were looking at opportunities. So that animal science lab, if students didn't have a space to show animals, they could do that, and just another avenue. So just something for you all to consider and put in your back pocket.
Would they be able to provide us with some sort of drawing or something
Yes.
specific to what they're thinking, or
They
what
had-
they're thinking? Just to,
Yeah, they had a pretty good idea of what they were going to do, and we didn't talk for a long period about it, but we talked about, okay, what are you going to cover and how are you going to fundraise and,
Sure.
and what that looks like. So yeah, I will make sure that
okay.
they get something
well,
up to you.
yeah.
Definitely
See it
worth
further
looking at.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting.
and that's all I.
Hmm?
That's it's true. That's all I've got. So
Okay, we will move to the building reports. Dr. Lau.
You bet. So, William Lynch Elementary, that's just started the year swimmingly. Everything's going well. We have had individuals up on the roof, and you can imagine the kids are very excited about the big trucks and the noises, and it's exciting. But
Not kids.
yeah, right, no. But we are excited though about the roof being fixed over there. It's going to be really great, and seem like yeah, exactly. And that's wonderful for us. the teachers have just done wonderfully. It was interesting, we were over having our PD day and Mr. Copeland happened to be by there, and I told him when I met him, I said, hey, let's walk around, I guarantee the teachers are going to be doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And we walked around, and in every single place, they were working hard, doing good things, and collaborating, and it really has been a great start to the year. So we're having a great time, it's been really good. I will say also, just wanted to give a quick shout out to Nate and to Dan and also Drew. You know, we feel really very supported. They came to the Patriot Day thing that we had, which was very cool. But you know, it's interesting, our teachers are getting pretty comfortable having Nate and Dan around. They were around a lot, and that in a good way. You know, they're in the rooms, they're checking things out, and it's much appreciated and noticed. So just wanted to give that quick shout out. Dr. Wills asked us to reference our the CSIP and kind of what our building goals are. We have 3 building goals at William Lynch Elementary, and the teachers have each chosen 2 of the 3 that we're working on. One of them, the first one, is about improving our climate culture, which is CSIP Strategy 3 that we wanted to do that. And so what we're working on, one of the goals that the teachers could choose was to improve and increase the communication that we have with the community. And so we've got some plans for how to do that. The second goal that we have actually was our CSIP Goal 2, Strategy 1, which was regarding attendance. And so at William Lynch, we traditionally have pretty good attendance, but we're working on that 90-90. And so we're working specifically with that. And then the third one was Strategy 4, which is allocating resources to ensure that each student is purposefully engaged, as providing rigorous instruction, etc. And yeah, we adopted our new reading series, which is Wonders. And so we added that in there because we are committed to implementing that effectively. And we spent some time on the PD Day doing that. And so, you know, we've got those 3 goals. The teachers are choosing 2 of those 3 to focus on personally, and then we'll do the same as the building, and we'll continue to roll forward this year. So excited for that. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, Mr. Byatt?
All right, so as you heard there, the mums came in today for our Soup Pie Mum fundraiser. So Soup Pie sold 1,355 mums this year. So those are being finished being picked up currently at the Upper Elementary. One thing that we're really working on this year at Upper is to really foster a love of reading with our students. We want to get that where they're reading for enjoyment and continuing to want to improve their reading. So we have a high number of students this year that are staying for book club on Tuesdays after school. There's several teachers that are in the library reading with kids on Tuesdays, so that's really cool that that's happening. There are also several other after-school activities taking place. One thing during our PD Day last week, or this week, Monday, that we were really updating our essential standards for our math instruction. And so currently teachers are meeting with their grade level teams and figuring out ways, or the standards that are super high priority, what they need to know before they leave, what's essential, and then things that they can kind of cut back on that they still need to touch. Of course, they're going to touch on all their standards, but really focusing on those standards that students have to know this before they leave, whatever grade level they're in. We're getting ready to align vertically with that in the coming PD days. That's kind of the plan, to work on that vertical alignment and making sure that our kids are getting the best education that they possibly can. So.
Inquiring minds. You mentioned Book Taco versus the AR.
Yes.
What's the difference there?
So AR was a program that really, like, they read, they took a test, they had a goal. I personally feel at times it could be discouraging to students, and so Book Taco is one that it's encouraging a love of reading, and so it's more engaging for the students. There's a lot of different, like, if they read a book, there's different things they can do. They don't just take a quiz. They might be filling out a graphic organizer instead. Okay. It's kind of a digital platform. The more they read, they get kind of incentives and rewards inside of this program online. It's just really engaging for the students versus more of just I'm going to read, take a quiz, get points, that kind of thing. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's been a little of a learning curve in our house to adjust from
Yes.
AR to Book Taco. I've had a lot of comments from our 4th graders.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the true passion.
It's been a change, but I think it's been a good one.
Yeah.
Mr. Pye and I have had we've had years of conversations about AR and what is better or what could be done.
And it's going to take, it's a learning curve for the teachers too, because we've used AR for years since I was in school. And so it's taken adjustment and a different mindset change inside the teachers, the students, but everybody's kind of jumping on board and
Good.
we're getting there, so.
Okay, Dr. Green?
So there's always a lot happening at the middle school, so my brain is always all over the place in 1,000 different directions. And this morning, you know, with the aftermath of just having receiving students off the buses after the conversations that they've been having about today's events. And there were just emotions everywhere. And Mr. Copeland just walked in this morning. Our mic is out in the cafeteria, and we had to come up with a creative solution to talk to our students about how we were going to focus on learning today. And Mr. Copeland came in. I was standing on one of the kitchen or one of the cafeteria tables with all the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders gathered around, just trying to get us kind of refocused. And this morning it was great. They did a great job just refocusing their learning, and I was pretty proud of that. But I was a little embarrassed that I was on the table. Yeah. So our building goal, you know, we are using evaluate and different pieces of assessment to really use that information and drive our instruction. But one goal that we're committed to as a building is literacy. We have some instructional things to work on with literacy in the building. And when you get to middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade is departmentalized. So everybody kind of feels like, you know, they don't think that they're not a literacy teacher, but they're not a reading teacher. You know, they're past the point of teaching kids how to read. So what does literacy look like in the middle school? That's really what we're working on. All departments are committed to researching and applying some instructional strategies that really hone in on vocabulary and their content area. And we feel like that's going to make a robust impact on student achievement if we all focus on that vocabulary piece. So that's pretty cool. We have been working a lot on just social emotional, how to be a leader, how to have a growth mindset, how to connect with the community is one of our goals, is strengthening our relationships with the community. And so our students during, on Mondays, Make a Different Mondays, they've been working on trifolds or pamphlets to distribute to Healthy Dip County Salem Safety Day. And we gave them a little bit of background knowledge, and then we kind of let them pair up into groups and decide what are the things that students need to know or parents need to know about having safe students and helping students achieve safety. So those pamphlets will be ready to distribute on Saturday, September 28th, I believe is that date, if you're downtown and you're participating in that. So that was a cool opportunity. And then one thing that we've started this year, we're trying to make sure that we're working on communication with parents. So we're doing Tiger Talk announcements every day. We just kind of kicked it out. I forwarded you the link in the email. I'm channeling my inner Dr. Blau / Dr. Will's energy. And I'm not near as entertaining, guys. But you know, the goal there, we really just had to have a starting point, and then the goal is to recruit some students. I've already had some students ask, can I do that? Can I be a part of that? And so we're going to have, start training a small group of students to start working on those announcements, and also do the video, the voiceover, because I would love to take my face off of it, and let it just be student-led. And that will be part of our student leadership. And I think it's great communication for the parents to see every day, and keep in tune with what we've got going on at the middle school. So, any questions or?
Dr. Green, are you going to email that out then to the parents, or?
So that's an interesting thing. We're pushing it out. We're pushing it out through Infinite Campus
Okay.
through the messenger piece.
Gotcha.
And it's interesting because some parents have said they're not seeing it. Some parents that work for our district are saying that they're not seeing it. But then I had other parents come up to the window today and go, "Oh, I just love the Tiger Talk things that you're sending out." So tomorrow we're focusing on, is that the best avenue to push that out, or is there a better place to get that information out, just so that everybody has it? But yeah.
Sure.
And eventually we're going to put it on Facebook when we get the Facebook fiasco cleaned up.
Gotcha.
You notice it still says 23, 24. They're not easy people to deal with. So anyway.
Thank you. Mrs. Seaman?
Yeah, so I want to take time to shout out to my counselors. They have been working really, really hard to meet all the students' needs. They're implementing this new early identification system. They've been assisting with Next to Rise, which I'll talk about in just a second. Healthington County, they're scheduling, we don't have a career counselor, so they're picking up some of that slack and scheduling career testing and organizing college events and that kind of stuff. We did Next to Rise last year, and we had several students that just independently went to the leadership conference in Kansas City this summer. So that was Janine Marlett, Carly Geislinger, Nick Swisher, Zaylee Kaufman, and now they are on our leadership team. That's just a platform that is student-led, that creates positive changes in Missouri, and it's through the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services. So we're getting lots of student-led groups going out and teaching other students in other buildings. I want to talk about Dr. Wills and the advisory team. Students are very excited. You know, when I asked them before I gave them the name to Dr. Wills, because I didn't want to just surprise them, and several of them were a little shocked, and they haven't experienced that kind of thing, and they were very proud, and every single one of them was excited to be a part of that. So, and some more excitement is our student spotlight. We're having teachers nominate students for any reason in the world. Any of our staff members can nominate a student. Maybe they made a good grade, or maybe they were kind to a student in the hallway. Those are going in the entryway. So like when you walk in the front doors to the gym, those will rotate like every 3 weeks. And the students, when you start switching out the pictures, are all trying to see who else is up there. I let them read a little. I don't post what the teacher said, but they put the little thing and we tape it to the back so the student knows why they were nominated. And they're all excited about that. So that's nice to recognize students that maybe aren't always recognized. As far as our data and our teachers, it's working really, really well, having common planning times now. So all of our math team and all of our ELA team, they have the same prep. So at least twice a month they're meeting and going over their data, and they're getting a lot of good conversations going and comparing things and, hey, how are you doing this? What do you need for the next step? We're doing lots of stuff like that, so that's been helpful. Any questions?
Thank you. The athletics, SPED technology and maintenance reports are in your packet. So. Okay, new business.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
We need to approve the 2023-2024 annual Secretary of the Board report. That's in the drive. The thing that I would point out to you all is that we have 38% fund balances, which is a fairly healthy amount. The thing I would caution about that 38% is obviously we still have several things going out for the FEMA shelter, and with the ESSER funds going out, so we've already we've actually received the rest of our ESSER funds, that it kind of inflates that number. But it's even without that, we're still at a decent spot. So that's really what I got to say about the ASBR.
A motion to approve the ASBR. Stephen, seconded by Marjorie. Any questions, comments, changes? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 7-0. Okay, gas bid.
We received one, and if you all remember, we didn't have any last month. So we did receive one from County Fuel. There was 2 options for a 1-year bid or a 3-year bid. I recommend the 3-year bid. We do already use their tanks on site, so that makes that a little bit easier. I went back and even looked. They actually also won the bid 3 years ago, so, and it was a 3-year contract as well.
The 3-year bid was a little bit more of a discount, right?
Yes, yeah, I believe it was maybe 2 cents.
Yeah, 2 cents. Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the bid. Jason, second. Philip, any questions, comments, discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Yep.
Yep. Any opposed? 7-0. Okay, Marco contract.
That is a contract simply not to purchase copiers, but to service the ones we currently own or lease.
That's a.
Actually, I believe it's a multi-year.
Oh, it's 3 years. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. I was.
No, that's
Okay. A motion to approve that. Philip, second. Andrew, questions? All those in favor?
Yep.
Any opposed? 7-0. Okay, hold harmless agreement for keeping Christmas at home, excuse me.
That is just simply a contract that is required for Mrs. Sims to put that fundraiser on for the special education program.
Motion to approve. Sammy,
Yep.
second. Philip, any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 7-0. Okay, surplus property.
We have the white car. I've never seen this car driven. I don't even honestly know if it starts. I think it needs a new battery, new tires, probably all kinds of things. It has 137,000 miles on it. We'll do sealed bids for it. And then the band has a gooseneck trailer. It's a pretty nice trailer, that 32-foot gooseneck trailer of the band. And then we have additional older volleyball uniforms that we just have in storage, and we really need to get out of there.
Motion to declare this. Andrew, second. Philip, any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
So no, the sealed bids be,
Do so we'll publish those. We've talked about we're going to publish those on the website, and then I believe we still have to do it in the newspaper. One of these days, I think that requirement may go away, but it's still there now. We will publish those. I'll talk to Mrs. Adamick, but I want to say she'll try and get that in maybe tomorrow or Monday, and it'll run for a couple of weeks through the newspaper, and then we'll accept those bids and see what we end up getting. I anticipate we'll get some bids on the gooseneck trailer. We'll get some bids on the car. I don't know if we'll get any bids on the volleyball uniforms, so at that point we'll see where that goes.
Hey.
So, yeah.
You never know. Okay, the policy. Policy. Is that in the?
It's a separate attachment.
Yeah.
in the back.
Title IX policy.
Yeah. Yes, it's a Title IX policy. It's actually the policy from 2020, and there's some litigation with the new Title IX policy. So actually, the 2020 policy is what we are going by until they have fleshed through the courts the 2024 Title IX policies.
Motion to adopt the policy?
Yep.
Andrew, second. Philip, any questions? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 7-0. Okay, the drink contract.
There's obviously no real action. I just put it as a consideration item, and since we can't really do anything with that, it was just more of an informational thing for you all.
I may have missed something. What's the drive behind? Are we looking for a different route? Is it money? Is it cost savings going with someone else?
Sure. So all of that is kind of, so initially my thought was I want to see how many more years we got, because soda contracts seem to be one of those things that people forget about, and we were out year-wise, but we still have those 6,000 to purchase, and so our initial contract, they gave us 50,000 up front, and then I believe maybe 25% for profit off of their profit, and so there's the opportunity that if our contract was up and we were able to put out a request for proposals, that we would get more than 50,000, potentially get more for what we purchase, and we would probably, and just to see what it would look like, I can't say this now because we won't go through that process, but I'd rather I think it'd be more beneficial to do a 5-year versus a 10-year. So that was my thought process behind it, but we're gonna have to sell a few more sodas till we get to that spot.
If we renew a contract with them, will we use the existing data to see how much school district needs?
So
6,000's a lot.
it is a lot, and in fact, when they initially came to me, Coke did, because I was like, hey, we need to have a conversation because I don't know where we're at. They brought some of that data, and I can share that with you, and because it breaks it down by location and brand, and so there's some opportunities there for us to improve. So yes, and that was actually one of the things, because I also did have a conversation with Pepsi about what that would look like moving forward, and one of the things they were requesting was the data to put forward a solid proposal to say, okay, you've sold 1,000 cases a year for the last 8 years. If you sell 1,200 cases, that, you know, this is how much money you would get. So that certainly would play a factor.
At this rate, it's gonna take us a couple of years probably to get through 6,000 cases, right?
It would. It's more than you would think. I mean, really, I started trying to crunch the numbers thinking, well, maybe somebody will buy out the contract. And I don't think they would.
6,000 cases a lot, so
Right. You could build a nice little structure. We could.
Bus routes.
These I think some of you all were looking at. You all are welcome to look at this. They do not change much over the year, just for the simple fact of how our district is shaped. A couple of years ago, I think it's been, Mrs. Haven, has it been 2 years that we rode the buses? Brandon, you guys? Probably 2 years. We rode those buses probably in September or October of 22 or something like that. And so just looking for efficiency, see if there's something we could do, and truly just for the unique nature of the shape of our district, which is kind of a teardrop out east, they don't change very much. So.
Motion to approve the routes as indicated. Stephen, second Marjorie. Any questions? Okay, all those in favor?
Okay.
Any opposed? Okay. Bus contract with Dalton Sanders.
That was the bus contract with Dalton. We were hoping to not have to do this year, but we've had a few times where we're short on buses, so we've got multiple things going on. Many times, I forget what day it is. We've got a date that's really full coming up. Yes, and so there's like maybe 3 or 4 buses leaving, and then trying to do the routes with that many activities that we will need that additional bus. And so that's kind of a unique. We're very fortunate to kind of have that option to use something like that. So, yes, sir.
The question is that the school district's bus?
No, it's actually his bus. Yeah, so it's required. So it's the lease of using it, but then it also covers insurance and things like that.
Okay. Motion to approve. Philip?
Yep.
Stephen? Andrew, sorry. Somebody.
We all look the same.
Any other questions? It's been a long day. Questions?
I'll shout out to Dalton too. Go buy some pumpkins. It's got the coolest pumpkin setup. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Discovery School contract.
We have a couple of students there. It's a yearly contract, and as long as those students are attending Discovery School, that's.
Okay. Motion to approve. Sammy, second. Philip. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 7-0. Okay. To approve Dr. Wills, Mr. Copeland as signers on the
Yes.
Missouri Department of Economic Development.
So what that is the pretty much switching me over to trying to end out what we have left on the construction trades building. They won't. I'm trying to fill out the final paperwork, and when I told them, hey, that it actually had Mr. Smith and Dr. Reed's name on it, I was like, hey, I'm neither one of those, and they're like, sorry, but you're going to have to get this done. So.
Motion to approve that. Jason, second.
We don't have to
Marjorie.
pay until it's done.
Yeah.
Is that an official question? Yes. we do. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 7-0. Okay, last item. Approve the application for final payment on the construction trades.
This is the payment that goes to the architect, Mr. Odom. So that's something he said, sign this, get it back to me. I thought, I'm going to get board approval on that before I just sign off on that amount. So,
That is,
Go ahead. That's fine.
good question. So we have power ran to the building. Mr. Tinker and I have had discussions about they're going to have the students run the wire. So the next thing we're doing is looking at how much wire he's going to need. And so we have a very small amount of money that we believe will cover the wiring. So we will do that, the interior in phases. In fact, I talked to the Merrimack Regional Planning people about that today. So Mr. Tinker, we're going to do the power first, and then we're going to look at framing options for the interior of the classroom. We'll have to get a plumber to come in and put the the rough end's already there. We just got to get that toilet. So, but that'll be one of the last things we do. That and insulation. But
And then will we have an open house and when it gets all finished?
that would be the plan. Yes, ma'am.
And really to thank the people that kicked in on that.
Sure.
The community that kicked in for that.
It's gotten a lot of use already. I can say that building has. So yeah, they would love to see. You know, we had the raising. Roof raising, yeah. And so I almost said barn, the barn raising, but yes, the roof raising. So it will be nice when we get finished to do another one to let people go and see, because there's some really great equipment already in there. So yeah.
Okay. Where do we have a motion to approve the final payment? Andrew, Steven, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 7-0. Okay, resignations, hires, transfers.
Just a couple folks. Brenda was a William Lynch paraprofessional, and she's resigned. And is that correct? Yes. And then Cole has moved from custodial. We had a resignation. I believe we accepted, or we'd taken from Noah Sapp. So Cole Mackley, who is one of our custodians, has moved over to maintenance. We've moved Donna Ford, who is another one of our custodians, over to days in the high school. So that was just an informational for you all.
Okay. That's the last thing. I need a motion to adjourn. Move into executive session. Sammy, second. Philip. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.